The following is a mechanically reproduced announcement, previously recorded from a live scheduled program on 24.7 The Stream. This is not a live broadcast. All guests, callers, and hosts granted 24.7 The Stream permission to be recorded. This program may contain strong language or topics not suited for younger listeners. Parental discretion is advised. Thank you for listening to 24.7 The Stream. Welcome to the Transformational Architects. Hosts Sam Simpson and Kent Jones, the co-founders of Life Integrated Wellness Group and co-creators of the Wellness Renovation, bring you their new approach to personal development that is revolutionizing the industry with ideas, concepts, and training that have been the missing link for years.
You know, guys, transformation doesn't happen in one area of life at a time. You need to embrace your unexpected benefits and focus them when struggling with your goals, what we call expected benefits.
Sam and Kent will give you the key to unlock the tools you already have, instead of giving you another tool you haven't been taught how to use.
And once you realize that life isn't linear like a timeline, that's when you can truly be present and transform your life.
Now, here are your hosts of the Transformational Architects, Sam Simpson and Kent Jones, on 24.7 The Stream.
What a week, huh, Sam?
Yes.
Welcome to the Transformational Architects. I'm Kent Jones.
I'm Sam Simpson.
Who we got here today?
We have Nik Farooqui. He's an old classmate of mine. Yes. And Nick is the head of Street Safe 101 and also Xtreme Training Academy.
Yep. Nice. And author now. Or in the middle of it.
Been for a while, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome aboard. Tonight, as we have Nick here, we're going to cover a lot of good stuff. We also, later on this hour, we've got Life's Diet, which is going to be another nice segment, some good stuff. Might not be as crazy as last week, but it'll be all right. Folks, if you want to, chat along with us here at 24/7 The Stream, you can go to Transformational Architects and just click on the live show button, and that'll bring you right in where you can come in and chat and ask questions of Sam, myself, or Nick, which is important. And if you need any information or you're looking to make that transformation in your life, you can find us at beginimproving.you.com, where we have uncovered the 5 fundamentals of transformation, and you can get our complimentary program there for free.
Yeah. That wraps it up. And then also on Facebook, Life Integrated Wellness Group is our Facebook tag. So, Nick, it's been a long time since we graduated.
97.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, man? Fill us in.
Jesus, 97.
Man. I know I'm such a young pup here. After graduation, obviously I did like everything else, everybody else through college and whatnot. And,
there it is. Hey, there's the microphone, everybody.
There's the microphone. Sorry, I was getting my gear together here, Anyway, so, during college and stuff, I ended up getting more involved with my father's construction business.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a developer, general contractor and such. And ultimately, in the late 90s, I ended up taking over that to a certain degree.
Oh, cool.
So, he was a developer. I didn't really get too much in the development side. I opened more of the commercial construction side and that kind of thing. And, I've been involved with martial arts my whole life since a young age.
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
And, just something, I got kind of burned out of being in construction in general. And probably at a timely moment in life anyways, just because with the market and such. But I was teaching at another gentleman's studio. He had 2 locations. I was running both locations for him and such. And eventually I decided to go off on my own. And that is kind of where the journey took a hard left turn, and all kinds of experiences came out, and Pandora's box just opened.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, that's cool.
I've seen that show.
Yeah.
Kent, that's not appropriate.
wrong Pandora.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So, you and I have been talking for the last week, 2 weeks behind the scenes, and
right.
One of the things you mentioned was, the martial arts, the martial way.
Yeah.
And can you explain that a little bit and talk about that?
Yeah. So, when I tell people that I'm a martial arts instructor, and we'll get into that a little bit more, I'm sure, in detail as the show progresses, but the martial arts and the martial way, although are semi-related, they're really not the same thing. The martial arts is about disciplining yourself and developing physical and mental and emotional attributes and such. the martial way is about developing a particular code in your life.
Okay.
And being able to abide by that code in all things, not just in just a studio or on the mats or otherwise. You're talking every aspect, every venue of your life. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that and what are the things that kind of go into that code, or what are the areas that you're talking about? I mean, I know it's everything, but is there like a few different ones that you hone in on the most?
But that's the beauty of this thing, because you're going to develop your own personal martial way, your own code, right, through the process. And you, like for me personally, it evolved. At first it was just martial arts, right?
Yeah.
And then it went into business, and then it went into teaching, and then it went into how I interacted with everybody, meaning my community and my students, my clients. It went from that into my family life. It went into healing some wounds that I had, some voids that I had in my own life, from dealing with some other things, some negative influences that were in my life and such. So it really just kind of takes place where you need it to take place. And that's the beauty of this thing, because it's so individual.
It's a way of living.
Absolutely.
I mean, basically.
Absolutely.
And, we were talking that there's so much that you do that's not martial arts per se, the physical part of it.
Right.
We talked that there was a lot of mental and emotional stuff that you've helped people with. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, Sam, in my career as a martial arts instructor, I've been involved with so many different oddball conversations that you would not think a martial arts instructor should go through. And people just don't see the life coach aspect of it.
Yeah.
I've had people in my studio, in my office, come to me with issues such as racism. They've come to me with homosexuality. They've come to me with HIV. They've come to me with marital problems. They've come to me with finance problems. They've come to me with suicide. And these are things that have nothing to do with martial arts, right? This is not about punching and kicking.
Right, exactly.
But they're resorting to you. They're looking to you to either have an answer or come up with an answer,
or reference something.
Right,
exactly.
Find some guidance. Right. And at my first statement in the show is I really don't was that I don't like calling myself a martial arts instructor per se. Okay. I always tell people, listen, this might kind of set the foundation for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I tell people that I'm a flashlight. Okay. And my job as a quote unquote flashlight or instructor is to help you see yourself. So we're going to turn that flashlight inside. I'm going to challenge you, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and such.
I like that.
And I can't tell you what you're going to see. I can only help you see it.
Right.
To take a look in and evaluate for yourself. And hopefully we've instilled enough guidance into you that you're able to navigate your way. So consider me a conduit, a vehicle, a boat to get across the pond kind of thing.
We talk a lot about that at the Life Integrated Wellness Group about we're not necessarily giving you tools, we're giving you the owner's manual.
That's exactly what it should be, right? It's got to be kind of a little bit of a roadmap. And you need to be able to plug and play yourself because, we're individuals.
Yeah.
All of our lives and all of our circumstances are completely different than the next person.
Sure.
And if you only have, this is why I say I'm not really an instructor, because to me that connotates that I'm going to show you A, B, C, D, E. And I don't want to do that. What I want to do is give you framework and teach you how to write sentences for yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So is, when martial arts, there's so many different types, and there's, kung fu, there's jiu-jitsu, there's so many different, what's your background?
So I've been involved with close to 13 or 14 different martial arts systems.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
And hold rank in nearly half a dozen or so. And although I teach a particular blend, which is Jeet Kune Do, which is ultimately Bruce Lee's philosophy,
right,
and concept of martial arts. And although I also teach the Filipino martial arts as well, some Kali, some Silat for the weaponry-based stuff. I'm involved with Jiu-Jitsu as well. But, I'm involved with kickboxing and taekwondo.
So it's everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, man. You have to, because it's eclectic, man. The journey, just like anything else, is gather information. As much as you can.
Well, and we talk about that a lot too. There's going to be different authors, different references, different books, different programs that you want to reference in your life, and you can't just go one way. Not one person has all the answers.
Well, there's no such thing as the gospel truth.
Exactly. So
what's true today isn't true tomorrow anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe you guys
don't tell my kids that.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
So you were, I mean, you got in at an early age, and you know, usually when parents and families get kids involved, it's, you know, they're being bullied or something. It's something for self-defense to build that confidence, to build, you know, a lot of sports do that, but if you can't kick a ball or something like that, we're going to put you in there. And, you know, about what age, I guess, is what I'm asking, Nick, is did you start to see, you know, the code that was inside of you?
You know, I start seeing that even to this day. I'm still discovering new things. And that's at the age of 35, you know. But really, you know, what I thought I knew it in my, because every 19-year-old is extremely smart. I don't know if you knew this.
Bulletproof,
they knew
too.
Everything.
I got a 20-year-old.
Yeah, right. But really, when I was in my mid-20s, 25, 26, 27, you know, life really settled in for me, and I really had to start paying attention to what's happening around me. And that really became kind of this pinnacle point. And it wasn't just one particular event. It was probably a series of events that just really made me kind of open my eyes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you got in young in elementary school, or I mean, so it had been years and years.
Yeah, you know, and
studying, learning.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it still is, right? I mean, I'm still a student. I still deal with my instructors as consistently as I possibly can, just with time constraints and such. But the thing is, you know, like martial arts is a vehicle for the martial way.
Right.
It's not the only vehicle.
Correct.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you got to be a student first.
You have to be a student of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
As long as you have the courage to take a look and say, man, this is good and this is not so good. You know, nobody wants to hear the bad news, but that's really where you want to focus.
Right. And then being able to act on that. I mean, you know, a lot of people know this is good and not so good, but they don't have the courage or strength to act on it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And you've written how this has helped you through some things. Explain some of that stuff, and what was the process that you got through it, or whatnot.
Yeah. So, you know, there's been quite a few.
Yeah.
You know, and some things were very testing in my life. Let's just say, you know, well, Sam, you might remember this. You and I grew up in the same town. When I moved into the town that we grew up in, it was like a population of 740.
Yeah,
and it was like a blank sheet of paper, just pure white.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I was a raisin in a bowl of rice kind of thing.
Copy
you know what I mean?
paper. It didn't even have lines on it.
It was I remember that because I came from Aurora, which was like, you know, one third white, 1/3 Hispanic, and 1/3 black. And I went into, you know, I'm like, where is everyone here?
Like it looked like OKC, right? Like old Western kind of thing.
Exactly.
And so what happened was ultimately, you know, like a good student, good athlete, everything else, but it's difficult to make a good social connection because you're labeled as something. And this wasn't just, you know, like the racism side of it. This isn't just something that was amongst the kids. This was well into the adults as well. You know
I can imagine out there.
Yeah. So, you know, when I finally left the town that we grew up in, I'm yet to go back. Okay, so
join the club on that one.
18 years later, right? So, you know, some of those things really bothered me. You know what I mean? Post high school, you know, going to college and stuff. And mind you, teenage years are kind of they're experimental years in the first place, right? Sure. There's so many different changes. You're trying to realize who you are and what you're trying to be, but you don't have the life experiences to guide you through. To tell you what you're going to be or what you want to be,
right?
You just have a piss poor attitude. That's pretty much
exactly.
So
the whole world. You just piss at the whole world.
Yes, that's basically it. You know, so you really have to dig deep and find out who you are. Right. You know what I mean, and the martial way really helped me do some of that. Probably more recently speaking, I guess off of the racism topic. Almost 2 years ago now, I lost my father in a car accident. You know, overseas and such, and that really jacked up my universe for a little bit. And here's why I say that. In my 20s, my relationship with my father was a little bit on the rocks for a little bit. And we were cordial. It's just, we just butted heads all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And in my middle to end 20s, I really started making amends. You know what I mean? And I really felt like, like things were really going in the right direction. My father was traveling back and forth between, the international and obviously here, domestic U.S. When I lost him, there's always somking left to say.
Right.
Oh, you know what I mean? Trust me. I lost my dad at 19, so I totally understand.
I remember that. And, if it wasn't for me knowing who I am and what I do and being able to come back to something that's solid, that I know I can trust in. This has been proven to me.
Right.
I don't know what the outcome of that interaction was going to be.
Yeah, when you have that down and deep in you, that code
That's it.
that you can go back to and be like, okay, everything's gonna be okay. I know that this is here, and I know how to I know the way that I'm gonna live, my life and get through this.
Well, if I can say that, it's the purest place you're going to be yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly. So all emotions aside, I mean, this martial code, this martial way, this martial arts, this whatever you want to call it, has given me a particular perspective. It's opened my mind's eye on how to process and how to express and how to forgive and all these things that are important to me in life. I learned through this martial way. You get
That's
it?
cool.
That's awesome. I mean, and I think everyone needs that, that kind of introspective place where they can go and they can and really checks and balances.
Yeah, but how many people have it?
Exactly. There's not many.
It's not about getting on a treadmill and running, because that's a different. You're talking about the endorphin rush and such.
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really honing in on you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That flashlight turned inside out, as you say. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
What's kind of your process in that space of time or whatever it may be that you kind of go through that process, when you hit something that's difficult?
Yeah, a lot of it is first and foremost recognizing how you feel, okay, and why. You know what I mean? What's left? And, I owe a lot of credit to one of my instructors and mentors in life. Honestly, his name is Roy Harris. He's out from San Diego, California. And he's always been a second father figure to me ever since I met him, which was like 2006, 2007. And one of the things that he said was, you need to start writing letters. And I said, to who? And he said, to you.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Really?
You know what I mean? And what it forced me to do was, honestly, I had to go pen to paper, meaning ink, something tangible, something I can look back and review. And that's where the process begins for me, because, I write very methodically in the first place, and it has to be clear and concise. I can't just, just scribble.
Yeah.
Kind of OCD that way, I suppose. But, having that process and having something to be able to process was so critical for me.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yep.
So much sense.
Fantastic. We've got, if the listeners need to get a hold of you, Nik, could they find you where?
A little bit of everywhere, I guess. But if you're on Facebook, you can follow me on either of my pages, which is one is Xtreme Training Academy. That's spelled with an X. The other one is Street Safe 101. If you want to go online or visit on the web, then it's www.xtremetrainingacademy.com for my studio. If you want to contact me personally, then it's www.streetsafe101.com. And my phone number's on there. And if you fill out any of those contact forms, it comes directly to my email.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I personally respond to everybody who reaches out.
And that's huge. And this is the Transformational Architects, and we talk a lot about transformation. Yeah. And in studio, we've got Nik Farooqui.
That's right.
Just amazing. I'm scribbling down so many things, and I got a lot of questions. But I think when we come back from the break, what I really want to talk about a little bit is that pen to paper. Yeah. You said a couple things in there, but also I want to talk about a little bit more about the mentorship, and because I think in any transformation, it's important. And Sam and I talk a lot about this: is having somebody there that's been through it with you, and how you can pull from them. Just like reading books. The people have already walked. You could read about somebody's life in a matter of a couple hours.
Even ships have a guiding light.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that'll be great. But folks, if you're listening and you want to chat along here on 247thestream.com, you can go to the transformationalarchitects.com and just push on the live show, and you're going to be right in. But you are listening to the Transformational Architects. I'm Kent Jones, along with
Sam Simpson
and Nik Farooqui in here. You're listening to 247thestream.com.
The Stream would like you to remember that you are incredibly unique.
Really?
Just like everyone else. 247thestream.com. grow your business. At Signorama of Naperville, we offer customized solutions for signs, branding, marketing, and advertising. We have a full range of custom signs and graphic services to meet your needs, build your brand, and create your image. Look around and you'll see how our specialists help businesses enhance their visibility and get noticed. Let us work with you to understand your unique marketing goals and help you reach them. Call 630-527-0500 to meet with an expert at Signorama Naperville. That's 630-537-0500 or visit us online anytime at Signorama-Naperville.com. Custom solutions, friendly service. Signorama of Naperville, the way to grow your business. Keep your online visitors engaged with Rumble Talk chat service. With over 2 million chatters on over 200,000 websites, Rumble Talk is a proven professional chat room service. With an easy-to-install Rumble Talk chat room, you can share rich media, chat on the go from your mobile phone or tablet, integrate on popular social media pages, blogs, mobile apps, and websites. Add a stylish HTML5 Rumble Talk chat room theme or create your own custom Rumble Talk chat room. Rumble Talk gives you the ability to control any aspect of your chat room's appearance, images, colors, backgrounds, borders and fonts, and overall style. With Rumble Talk's easy account management, you can manage all your Rumble Talk chat rooms from one account. Now that you've found your chat room solution, visit rumbletalk.com for your free 7-day trial today. Your visitors are waiting. Rumble Talk chat service, rumbletalk.com. Some say that life is a journey, and all journeys begin with a simple step. Well, at BeginImprovingYou.com, we have found a way to help you make that first step. No matter where you are in life, just beginning, somewhere in the middle, or somewhere over the rainbow, BeginImprovingYou.com will show you a revolutionary way to maximize the tools you already possess to live a more fulfilled and purpose-filled life. The life you always wanted. At BeginImprovingYou.com, you will start to look at your life differently than you have ever done, through your own lens, not the lens society and life have given you. By revealing these basic principles that each one of us has inside, you will understand why you haven't had lasting success from any other programs you have tried. At BeginImprovingYou.com, we didn't want your life system to break. We start improving it so it doesn't fail. Stop by BeginImprovingYou.com and get your free video course to help you take that first step towards the life you have always wanted. And listen to the Transformational Architects Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central. You're listening to 24.7 The Stream, serving Chicagoland and the world. 247thestream.com.
And we're back doing a little singing here on the side. You know, here's the best thing that I love about radio. For some reason, I must have seen something in the 50s because every time we come back from a commercial, I'm like, and we're back. I don't understand why I do that, but I do anyway. So, you know, we're in the studio this evening with Nik Farooqui. We're talking a lot about the martial way. We're talking a lot about martial arts and the impact it has had on his life. And I'm sitting here just marveled because I'm sitting here with two guys that came from the same high school that are entrepreneurs, that are carving out the way and changing people's lives. Truly, you know, as an old guy our studio guy here, Todd's old too, but as an old guy sitting here seeing a couple of you young pups changing the world, that's impressive to me. It's amazing.
We still have our hair, so that helps.
Although you and Todd have the same haircut.
That's it.
It's not a career, right? It's not a career. It's a calling.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not everybody can do it. Not everybody wants to do it. I mean, you got to have some patience for this, man. This is like, if you
and the people around you have to have those patience. I
Absolutely.
mean, because doing this kind of thing, I mean, you're not making $1 million overnight, and but you're following your passion. And
I made $1 million in the past 10 years.
I hear you. Spent it, but I don't know. So, before the break, and during the break, we talked a little bit about, your mentor, out in California.
Yeah.
And a mentor, I think a mentor is very, very important, and I think it's if you're going to get through any transformation or any change or get through much in life, you need somebody, outside of family perhaps, or somebody who's been through that. So, and last week we had Phil Wallace on, and, he kind of said your mentor can be tougher on you than a friend or a family can be at times.
Yeah.
So
they know your potential, and their job's to drive you to that potential. Right. So when you're going, man, I'm kind of done, I'm spent, I'm kind of burnt out or whatever, he's the person that's supposed to be putting the boot to behind and making you get through. Right. So mentors have to be kind of tough on you.
So, I mean, and your mentors, on the other side of the country and, so how do you, in what ways has he put that boot to your behind?
Oh, man. 2 hours is not going to be long enough. Well, first and foremost, I should say this. Aside from him being across the country, he travels the globe.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Like right now, he's in Norway for the next 8 or 10 days. You know what I mean? And before that, he was in Australia, and then before that, he was Canada.
Right,
so getting out,
so you wish he was just across the country.
Oh my God, I wish. Right. And but what I've over the years, as my relationships developed with him, he's very easy for me to call or text or email. And I know he always gets back to me. And the guy's got the heart of a lion, and you can't. He speaks to you, and you have to listen. He's one of those type of guys. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. And because it's just wisdom and experience there, and him and I have similar backgrounds as far as he's went through many of the experiences and many of the negatives in my life that he's gone through in his. So when he gives you advice, it makes sense. And very much like me, he doesn't tell you do this, that, the other. What he says is, here's a framework.
Sure.
Where do you fit in? And that's important because, we were talking about this, on the break, is, you have to be able to adapt. Life is dynamic. And so if you come on to this moment in your life where you're saying, man, I'm making this transformation, you know what I mean? I want to change things. I want to be a happier person. I want better relationship at home. I want, a better career, whatever you got to do. You can't just go ABC and it's done.
Right.
It all relates to itself. It's all connected somewhere, man.
Yeah,
so
it's one of our biggest things.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. We're sitting here with Nik Farooqui. Nik, how can people find you or learn more information about you?
Yeah, so you can find me online at www.streetsafe101.com. That's actually the best way to get a hold of me. You can find me on Facebook at Xtreme Training Academy or at Street Safe 101.
And we're the Transformational Architects, folks. If you want to chat in, you got a question for Nik, Sam, myself, or, you just have something that you just want to put out there, on 247thestream.com. You can, a couple different ways to do it. You can go to 247thestream.com, go to the Wellness channel, and click on our banner, the Transformational Architects, Sam. And
you can also go to transformationalarchitects.com and just click on the live show button, which will hit you right into the chat and listen right away.
That's it.
If you want to check us out on Facebook, go to Life Integrated Wellness Group.
Yep.
We'll be there.
And, Sam and I, Nik, in what we talk about and try to help people is to stop looking at their life linearly, like a straight line. Instead, we try to get them to think of their life more like a floor plan of a house. You have a bedroom, and, you don't cook your meal in your bedroom. You don't poop in the kitchen. I mean, so, but what we talk about is that kind of that great room, and that is, that's the life room, we call it. Right. And you're able to sit in your life room. That's kind of where everything happens, and you can see what's going on in all the other areas of
the
your
hub,
life.
The hub, as you will.
Sure.
And you had mentioned something in the first segment about you have to understand, be present. I don't think you used the word be present, but you have to understand, where are these feelings coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Yeah. So to me, what I wrote down and jotted down was just being present. And Sam and I talk a lot about that and helping people transform, and is being present, really truly understanding where you're at and what's going on.
Yeah.
And you were saying you've got a whole chapter on that.
I have a chapter in my upcoming book. It's called The In the Now. And in the now is exactly what you're saying. It's about being present. Let me give you guys a little bit of a background on this. We spoke on this briefly during the break. one of my other instructors, guy's name is Tom Cruise. And I'm not talking. I'm
The
not talking.
Tom Cruise?
The real deal Tom Cruise, not the scientist fella. This guy's taller.
That's right.
Anyways, so he was in town. He's also from California, and he was in town. We were over at my house. We had dinner and stuff. And then my basement is actually finished out like a training studio.
Nice.
And him and I were down there just doing some private lessons and getting a little roll in and doing some boxing, kickboxing, such. And I was talking to him about something else in life that something minute. Insignificant, whatever, and he said, "Listen, you got to live in the now, the present." And I said, "What is this guy smoking?"
Right. Yeah. Too much bong water.
Yeah, right. And he says it's true. He goes, most people suffer from some form of depression, some form of anxiety, and the depression is because you can't get your eyes off of what's behind you, man. It's in the past, and it's dragging you down. And anxiety is just the opposite. You're so worried about what's upcoming that you totally forgot about where you're at right now. Okay, so you live in the now. So what he told me was, this is actually good advice. It sounds so stupid. I have random alarms on my phone that go off probably 5-6 times a day, and most of them sound like a gong because I like the old chop socky flick kind of stuff. And so I hear this gong go off, and I know to stop doing whatever I'm doing and take 2 minutes to myself. You know what I mean? And that's my in the now. Where am I? And why am I here? And what am I doing?
That's great.
I mean? So that constant reminder, it's an exercise. It's not just a concept. It's not a philosophy. It's not something that you just think about doing and, I'm in the now kind of. No, you have to have a tangible reminder every single day, several times a day to just stop, breathe, do some, accountability for yourself and just get some mental clarity before you go back and do whatever you're doing. I promise you, whatever problem you were facing 5 minutes ago, it's going to be there 5 minutes from now. So just take that minute and just live in the right now. Right. Okay.
And now, as you talk about, I think a lot of the medical field, aren't buying into that, the depression. So we're going to load you up with a bunch of drugs and pills and, kind of, get you not focused on that but it starts destroying you,
I am not first and foremost, you have to fight me tooth and nail to even get me to take aspirin.
Wow.
All right. I refuse to take stuff. And it's funny because I've had so many of my students and clients who've come to me and say, I'm having these problems and I'm kind of depressed or I've got, ADD or whatever's going on for them. And they're like, well, the doctor said take this pill, take that drug, take this. And, the side effect for taking antidepressants is suicide in the first place, or suicidal thoughts.
That's it.
It's like, am I not taking this pill to not have these thoughts in the first place? What the hell's going on?
Exactly.
And, or buy a sun lamp or whatever's going on. Okay?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So none of that worked for them. Or they just don't want to do it.
Right.
They start moving physically. You know what I mean? And, martial arts is very much about expression. You're just doing it physically and you're doing it in a combative way. All right. Now, I don't deal with the kids program, just so you guys understand. Like my particular program is adult based.
Sure.
And
Good.
It is very much about self-defense. Okay. So I'll teach you edge weapons. I'll teach you firearms. I'll teach you ground fighting. It's very street oriented, which is where Street Safe 101 came from. Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy who just screams and runs away. He's like, girl, I don't.
At least you know who you are.
That's right. I'm in the now with
you're
that.
You're in the now, and I'm in the past. I was out of here. So
That's right.
kind of thing. So look, this is just a part of it, man. You're like,
right.
You have to understand that. Like if I remember in college I was studying Maslow's hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay, everything starts on the physical, then it goes to the mental, then it goes to the emotional. Then it goes to the spiritual. Then it goes to self-actualization. Now, the ultimate goal is self-actualization, but really, literally speaking, you're probably talking 2 to 3% of the population that actually reaches that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Why? Because they're so distracted by all these other things. And they're depressed, or they got anxiety, or they're doped up on Ritalin, or whatever's going on,
So with that, for the people out there, and I mean, what a powerful thing that you're just kind of bringing up is we're going into the most depressing time of the year. Right? I mean, the holidays are the most depressing time of the year.
For me, too.
Yeah.
For me, too.
I mean,
I hate the cold.
Yeah, me too. We were just talking about that. I got to get out of here. Yeah. But and I don't know if I'm giving anything away, or is there a nugget you could send the listeners, people out there, just hey, if you are depressed, take that 2 minutes and practice breathing or whatever. But is there a little something that gets you from looking in that rearview mirror?
So I do this thing called an incantation. Incantation is, I actually learned this from Tony Robbins' seminar.
Yeah.
And I attended here in Chicago. And what he does is he says, take 5 minutes, take 15 minutes, take 30 minutes. Let's take whatever you need, okay? And I have basically like a giant poster board. On it, I have pictures of my friends, my family. I have, what my goals are in business. I have, for my goal is to actually end up down in like South America, some Latin country kind of thing, okay, on the beach and like nobody around. That's awesome. The next couple of years.
Ain't snow down
I got pictures of some of those things that I have, like places that I can see myself, being a part of and such, and I literally just stare at this thing and it helps me get so much clarity, because one of the questions that I ask of almost everybody is, you working your can off. You're working so hard, but what are you working for? And most of them kind of look at me like, dazed and confused. I keep forgetting that the audience cannot see my facial expression, but it's not good. It's not good. And so when you force them to answer that, okay, because that's not a rhetorical question. It's not some type of a deep thoughts of unemployment. It's none of that. You know what I mean? It's what are you working for? What do you want? Right. It forces them to hone in on something that's a goal in their life.
Yeah.
If only for a moment. So me personally, I do these incantations, where I just kind of chill out, and that's a part of my workout routine anyway. I spend, 10 minutes or so and just kind of, stare at some of these things, and it helps remind me of who I am and where I came from and where I'm going.
Yeah. And on the converse, so I mean, if you have that anxiety because you're creating stories in your own mind about the future that hasn't happened yet, kind of do the same thing.
Kind of do the same thing, because the problem with thinking about the future is that it's unknown.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I said, you're going to get anxiety from thinking about the future, then man, you would have no goals. If you want to lose weight, you don't look at yourself and be like, well, I'm going to lose weight. Whatever happens 6 months from now is what I'm going to be. No, you say, oh, man, I'm going to knock down 10, 15 pounds in this amount of time, and you've done that down. So you have to think a little bit in the future, don't you?
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with living in the now. Living in the now is important to understand what's in your future. Right?
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean,
right. I agree.
How the hell are you supposed to know where you want to go if you don't even know where you're at?
Right.
Exactly. You have to have a starting point.
Yeah.
And that starting point changes as you go, because you have a journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things you should do is log your journey.
Oh, definitely. The journaling is a big part of what we talk about.
Journaling is huge, because you can always look back, because you're going to have failures. You're going to fall off the wagon, let's just say, and you're going to throw the paper down. You're going to be pissed off at yourself. But when you can go back and you can literally take a look and say, where was I a week ago, a month ago, a year ago? Where am I today? It makes that much of a difference, man. There's nothing more powerful than seeing the results.
One of our things is one of our questions that we have in our journal that we use for the workbook is what you're doing today aligning with your reason? We call it reason because it's a difference in phrasing as far as why. They always say the why. We call it a reason because it makes your brain think a little bit more than just the why. And we asked that, did this align with that? Did you do things that supported it? If you didn't, kind of what happened, where did it go, stuff like that. So recently I opened up, just to validate your point here, recently I opened up a martial arts marketing program. This is for other people who have fitness and martial arts studios and maybe not doing as successful, let's just say, or they're kind of struggling, because let's face it, martial arts business itself is kind of like a labor of love. Right. Nobody gets rich doing this, okay? Especially if you're like me and you don't want to deal with kids. And I like kids. It's the parents that are dealing with this. So,
right. I coach a lot, so I get it.
Okay, so like one of the things that comes on here is, first and foremost, I said, feed the baby. And they look at me like I'm not a parent. I'm like, that's not your baby. Your baby is your goal. What's important to you? Your business is important to you. Now, for those of you guys who are parents, when you have a baby, you don't feed it once and expect it to grow.
I did.
You see? So you do 3 to 5 things a day,
right,
for that goal, and they might be something small. Okay, now in that particular instance, meaning dealing with martial arts studio owners and stuff, I say, I need you to connect with 3 to 5 people, live people, not a Facebook post. I'm talking shaking hands, handing them a card, talking to someone,
make a relationship.
Yeah, make a connection, man.
Right.
3 to 5 people. Now, if you do that 5 days a week, that's 25 times a week. In a 4-week month, that's 100 times.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
If you get, and this, I'm just doing numbers here for you. If you get 50%, let's screw that. Let's just even say that you get 20% of those people that actually show up. Mm-hmm. Okay, and only 50% of that actually sign on. You're still talking 10 people a month. If you need to have 65, 70 bodies in your studio where you can actually make a good living for yourself, 6-7 months.
That's it.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're not out there feeding the baby, meaning you're not taking, like what you were saying, like, is what you're doing helping you for what your goal is? then what are you bitching about?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You got to take the action.
Yeah.
You have to take the action, though. I mean, be the change that you seek, right? Mahatma Gandhi said it. I use that almost everywhere. I put that on Facebook before I came here, too.
That's it.
But be the change that you seek. You want to make change in your life, fitness-wise, finance-wise, relationship-wise, whatever. You need to make that change, okay? And you need to be that change.
That's right.
That's all there's to it.
And you have to understand as you're in the now, as as you're being present, as I would say in your life, and kind of sitting in your life room and understanding, you can't be afraid to make that move. You can't be afraid to. I mean, growth. There's going to be some pain. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point.
When you're feeding that baby, you're going to be sore. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to reflect, and because then if you're truly being honest with yourself, my wife and I were talking last night about some growth and things like that, and sometimes when we're educating ourselves, reading things, we don't like reading them because when you self-reflect, when you have to be present, you start getting a little upset with yourself. And you're just like, man.
Yeah. I mean, the mirror can be an ugly thing, but the fact of the matter is this.
Usually when I get out of the shower.
If you want change, you have to go through pains.
Right.
That's where the change is. If you're operating inside the box in your comfortable little world, man, nothing's changing.
Nothing.
Okay. Right. You're just moving around in the same box.
You can't sit in that comfort zone.
You can't sit in that comfort zone, man. So you gotta be willing. But the fact of the matter of that is I write about this in the book too, but you have to have a good support system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to have people who either have been there or who cares if they haven't even been there, but they'll support you. I get tired of people who contact me and say, man, I want to lose weight. And then I look at all their buddies and they're like, man, let's go to the bar Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, any day that ends with the Y. Let's go to the bar. Yeah. While your environment's effed up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're it's not conducive to your goal.
On the ride down, Sam and I were just talking about that.
Heading to the bar.
We were actually drinking and driving. Your buddies, you can be doing something that's killing you, right? I mean, you can be smoking 2 packs a day, drinking every day, and your buddies will be sitting there like, hey, nice job. Hey, buddy, nice job. Can I get a smoke too?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you do something positive to move your life forward, and then they all become critics like, what do you do? You're an idiot. Wait, I was just killing myself on a daily basis.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to put myself into a better position, and now you're going to tell me.
Well, you break the habit.
Right.
It doesn't take long for the new thing to become a habit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you look back in retrospect, be like, man, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And stupid people do stupid things.
Well,
I'm not
you
a
can't
stupid
fix
person.
it.
That's it, right? I can't even contain it. It's dangerous. So,
one of the things, you were talking about, the comfort zone, we were talking about this on the way down, is that, here in America, we're so comfortable compared to the rest of the world.
We are.
And I think that's why there's every country's kind of passing us up on stuff. Is because we sit inside this comfort zone, which is this comfort zone in America is huge. We literally have big houses and big everything, so we don't feel the discomfort enough to change or to make transformations. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a story here. Just a few weeks ago, I was down in Puerto Rico. We talked about this before I got on air, and I loved being down there first and foremost, okay? And not that it's, and people think, man, is it a third world country or something? First and foremost, it is absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And when you go there, it's just in the air. Now, here's one thing that I'm a keen observer of people. I don't want to see what they do like for partying in life. I want to see what they're like in the daily grind. Because I think to your point, Sam, is that, we are very comfortable, but the problem with it is we're not very comfortable. You know what I mean? Because you're always chasing something, like, if you're making $30,000 and you got a $450,000 house, you're going to be uncomfortable. I don't care what you're living in, you know what I mean? Because you're stretched so many different directions, and I got this car payment. And so over there, I swear to God, there's the funniest thing I saw. If you have a job that's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., a regular job, 5:01, they do not care what job has to say. They don't care. I'm not saying they don't work, but 5:01, they go home. Yeah. All right. 5:15, they're sitting in the garage having cervezas and cigars and hanging out with the family. They do not care they're making the time to get out of the grind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have to.
And I looked at that and I said, what a valuable lesson. Like, here we are, I got to pay for this Mercedes and I got to get the bigger house and I want that bigger lot and I want this and I want that and I want that. But why? Yeah. You can't take it with you. The tangible experience is not in cars and toys and such. It's with the people that you're connected to.
Yeah, that's the priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. So change the priorities. You know what I mean?
That's it. And Nick, if they need to get in touch with you again, they can get you at
StreetSafe101.com. Best place to be.
That's it. Mm. And you're listening to the Transformational Architects. I'm Kent Jones along with Sam Simpson, having a great conversation with Nik Farooqui. When we come back, we got Life's Diet coming up. and we're going to be talking about the mind in that. So
Can't wait.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Folks, you're listening to 247thestream.com.
Many of us struggle with health issues or pain of some form or another, yet you can't seem to find the reason why the aching continues. But there's a way to uncover and treat the sources of all your ailments. For the past 20 years, the practitioners at New Life Holistic Health have been helping people find and overcome the root causes of their health trials, rebalance, and restore their energy. Their New Life method combines today's most effective holistic therapies along with the quantum life system biofeedback full body scan, scanning you for over 7,000 health-related issues. This powerful method gives you the answers you've been searching for. Don't wait another day or even another minute to take back control of your health. Call 630-510-3180 or visit newlifeholistic.com for your free consultation. Mention you heard this ad on the stream and receive $25 off your first visit. New Life Holistic Health. newlifeholistic.com. Money, finances. These are stressful topics for most. Most of us were not taught the right way to handle our finances. How to save, how to invest, and how to protect our money. The Financial Fitness Pack at GaryKnauer.com is designed to expose you to the best minds in all of personal finance. World-class information straight from people with results. Straightforward, easily applied so you can prosper in any economy. No matter what your current financial standing is, the Financial Fitness Pack at GaryKnauer.com is the right path to maximize your financial future. The Financial Fitness Pack covers the offense, the defense, and the playing field of personal finance. Take charge of your money and learn how to build wealth. Go to GaryKnauer.com, learn the right way to manage your finances, and listen to Intentional Living Radio with host Gary Knauer Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Central on 24.7 The Stream. That is Gary, KNAUER.com. The Stream finds it ironic that the colors red, white, and blue represent freedom until they are flashing behind you. 247thestream.com.
So we're back with the Transformational Architects. Along with Sam Simpson, I'm Kent Jones in studio.
Nik Farooqui.
Hey, we're having a blast tonight talking about the martial way and talking a little bit about martial arts and what Nik does. And it's been an amazing beginning of the show. We're right into Life's Diet. So Life's Diet is always the segment where we kind of have fun and bring up weird things and they're actual things that are in the news that have made press, but that make you think. So this is what life is kind of feeding you. Okay. And what we got here this week is talking about the martial way and being kind of in that mindset and having a sharp mind. And the headline was Child Genius aged just 5 passes Microsoft exam and did it with time to spare. So it says that brainy Ayan Qureshi had to be given special permission by the computer software giants to do the test, which is usually taken by university graduates, and is now a qualified IT expert. Child Genius has become the world's youngest qualified computer specialist at just 5 years old. Ayan Qureshi passed the Microsoft Certified Professional Exam, seen as a vital qualification for IT experts with flying colors. The gifted schoolboy was just 5 years and 11 months old when he passed the test, smashing the previous record of 6.5. Microsoft's stringent exam is normally taken by adults after they graduate from university because it's so highly regarded by employers. Ayan almost missed out on the chance to sit in the test because shocked invigilators wrongly thought he was too young. Officials from Brigham University had to put it in a call to Microsoft here in America to check if he was allowed to sit the exam. The talented youngster from Coventry, so it must be UK over there, it sounds like, Eventually completed it in well under the time limit of 2 hours. I think he did an hour and a half, and he smashed it.
Wow.
So, the interesting thing is, and why we talk about that is, as Sam and I were discussing this segment, and it's amazing that here's this 5-year-old kid. Right. And I'm sure give me 4 hours. I'm sure I wouldn't know what to do. But, here's a 4
years.
Yeah. Here's a 5-year-old kid who smashes this test, aces it in an hour and a half where, these 20, adults, have gone to 4 years of college, university and can't get through this test.
Nuts, isn't it?
It's amazing is what it is. And what Sam and I were talking about is what do you tell yourself? We talk about anxiety, hey, I just graduated, cum laude from, some university, whatever. Yeah. And I'm taking this test, but I can't sleep the night before because I'm,
right. All that self-talk we've talked about before. The anxiety, as we talked about, like the time limit. What is this going to mean to my future if I don't do good? Or, there's so much stuff that goes through your head. And this is a 5-year-old and this other 6-year-old. I mean, they're not thinking about that.
Well, right. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man.
Right? It's amazing.
The fact of the matter is that, this is all true, and I think all things life is you have to learn how to quiet your mind.
Yeah.
Because you are your own worst critic. And first and foremost, your number one priority should always be, are you to your best performance?
Right.
Not what the neighbor's doing, not what the kid's doing. And in all honesty, that kid can end up in the trunk of a car.
Right.
Probably, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. Like, well, because, and what does that say? He took a test, he mastered this thing. Now, what's the kid's social life like? What's his,
worldwide news.
Yeah,
Still can't color inside the lines.
Exactly. So you don't know. I mean, honestly, like he honed in on something, and that's amazing that he can do something like that, because I've seen those tests and I just kind of scratch my head and be like, thank God I'm in the business of hitting people, so it's one of those type of things. But, it's okay if you're not good at it. Who cares? Right. What are you good at?
But and that's just what it is. There's some people who'll dismiss this. There's some people who get upset too, or like, oh, I can just imagine their parents just kind of kept throwing this at them instead of reading Dr. Seuss, start reading IT books to this kid, blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, matter of fact, he's probably just a genius. I mean, the kid's got it,
right?
And nobody's in that area, right? Yeah, and nobody's told him a story to tell him otherwise.
So I'm involved with music, right? Oh, I can't really say I'm involved. I'm a hobbyist musician,
all right?
And over the past couple of years, I've kind of learned how to play piano. All right. Self-taught. Can't read a lick of music anyways.
Right.
And, but I could play guitar and I could play drums and otherwise. But, regardless of that, so, I constantly I feel like YouTube is a excellent, educator.
Sure.
Right.
Because there's so much information. It can be. There's a lot of bogus material out there for sure. But, so I find this video, and it's gone viral on Facebook and stuff. Now. It's like this 4 or 5 year old Asian kid, and he is just jamming Mozart, throwing it down on his piano, and there's a And I looked at that, I said, Jesus, I'm playing chopsticks.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. The little kid's a drum in there.
Right. I'm messing up chopsticks. Right. So, but it is what it is, man. I'm not doing it for him.
Right.
Exactly. There's always going to be somebody that's better than you, bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, smarter than you. It's not about that. It's about your best and being in that moment and doing whatever you can.
That's it.
And and as we talk about transformations and different things in life, it's that's when we start have a measuring stick against I'm oh, well, Nick can do that, and I can't, so I must not be as good. This 5-year-old aced that test, and, I'm happy when I can get into my email,
Right, exactly. Doing math with an abacus.
That's it. That's it. Drawing sand lines. It's good. But, so, and that I think impedes a lot of people's progress is when they start comparing themselves to other people, and that's where that, as we talked earlier in this hour, that's where that journaling, that's where that writing down, comes from. Because you gotta, hey, you gotta be able to look back and say, I've come this far.
Absolutely.
There's an old story, one of my mentors told me and said, if your job is to paint 10 miles of fence. And he says, when you start out, you look 10 miles out. and that's a lot of work. And you start painting, and you might have done 2 miles, but you still have 8. But if you look at the 2 miles you just painted, you're like, I've come far, I've really come a long way. And that's, I don't bring that up, like a Mr. Miyagi thing, because you're in the martial arts. I'm just saying that's an old story.
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, the secret, in all honesty, it is very much exactly what you're saying, which is, the content, the meat and potatoes of anything is in the journey. It's not in the destination anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you have to have that measuring stick, like you said, that journal, the some type of a tangible experience, some type of a quantifiable, empirical data that you can look back and be like, I've went from A to B.
Right.
And if you don't have that, man, sometimes it's very easy to lose that sight, to lose that focus. And
definitely.
this is not even the martial life, martial way, martial arts, martial art. This is simple science.
Right.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, go ahead.
But you got to have that discipline to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying you got to sit down every 5 minutes and write down, man, you don't have to keep taking selfies. Have I lost any weight? Right. You didn't lose weight 3 minutes ago. It's nothing's changed.
Right.
And, but you have to have some kind of of that measuring stick, where you can go back and take a look and see where you've been.
Brendan Burchard talks about this, and we study him a lot. And, he talks about how we can all sit down and remember all these times where we failed, or we, didn't live up to our potential or whatever, or we didn't accomplish something. But how often do we sit back and remember times that we did, and that we succeeded and we made it through some, trials and what,
absolutely.
and it far outweighs the failures in those times that you had.
I hate the term failure. First and foremost, to me, when I talk about people failing, all right.
You only fail if you quit.
Well, you only fail if you didn't learn anything, right? If you're just like, shit, I kind of threw it down, put the gloves on and such. But in all honesty, failure is a better teacher than success, because it tells you what's wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? How do you know what's right if you have no idea what's wrong? You have to feel that, man. You know? But you have to have that emotional fortitude to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is what was wrong and here's why it went wrong, and then be able to move on. You know what I mean? And, sticking to the topic of the martial life, it's very much about challenging yourself on different planes, on different levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and such. But the goal is to first and foremost establish where you're broken.
Yeah.
So you're going to be successful, bam, and it's going to hurt. And that's where where your breaking point is. But now you're in a zone where you have to do some evaluation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
can't lie to yourself.
You can't lie. Well, failure doesn't lie.
Right.
It only smacks you upside the face and says, here I am.
Exactly.
So, but how do you push yourself to that?
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, and this comes back to what you and I were talking about in I think the first or the second segment, is you have to have guidance, because that becomes a very much a moment where you're going to go, I just can't do this anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the people that are going to drive you or motivate you and compel you to be a better you, right? Because ultimately what this thing is all about, being about
That's
better
right.
you, is those people are going to help guide, be that vehicle for you.
Right. They say the champions bask in, they say, oh, you bask in the victory, but champions truly bask in the defeat.
Yeah.
They don't spend all day, they don't wallow in it, but they bask in it and they learn from it. And that's what makes them a better champion. And the basketball scene, I'm a big basketball guy, but, who was it? Jordan, who told Shaquille O'Neal, when the Bulls beat Orlando, is like, you first have to learn how to lose.
That's funny enough, because that's actually a chapter in my book. It's called The Art of Losing.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
I thought about writing an entire book on the art of losing, but I actually just condensed, because 2 hours is never enough for me to talk on the
Well, we're off the air until you can sit here and talk all you want.
Chat all night, but it'll be me and Todd, the producer. That's pretty much, and he's going to leave too.
That's right.
But you have to know how to lose, man.
Yep.
And there's an old adage that I've seen these in sports videos and gyms and such, and it says champions have reasons, losers have excuses.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Amen.
And if you really think about it, it's like, why'd you lose? Well, man, I had this going on and that going on, and I wasn't able to get in the gym because of this, and I wasn't able to do that. Okay, well, you talk to the champion, the guy who won, or the gal, and they say, I put in the extra time. I went the extra mile. I woke up an extra hour early. I got to the gym one more time a day. Whatever. They have their reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't have an excuse, man. And that's just it. And it's such a fine line between reason and excuse. be on the right side of the fence on that one.
That's it.
You know what I mean,
that's it. We're having a blast tonight. I mean, we're in here with Nik Farooqui. Nick, if they need to get in touch with you,
StreetSafe101.com.
That's it. Yeah. And Sam, we're the Transformational Architects. It was a great night. It's great.
You can go to, for us, you can go to beginimproving.com to get the 5 fundamentals of transformation, or you can go to I'm having a brain fart here, but you can go to the Transformational Architects to either see our past shows or the live show to chat with us.
What's in that brownie you're eating? That's amazing.
That's for later.
All right, so we're going to step away here at the top of the hour, get some bills paid. You're listening to the Transformational Architects on 24.7 The Stream.
24.7 The Stream would like to give you the following financial advice. Borrow money from a pessimist. They don't expect it back. 247thestream.com. Grow your business. At Signorama of Naperville, we offer customized solutions for signs, branding, marketing, and advertising. We have a full range of custom signs and graphic services to meet your needs, build your brand, and create your image. Look around and you'll see how our specialists help businesses enhance their visibility and get noticed. Let us work with you to understand your unique marketing goals and help you reach them. Call 630-527-0500 to meet with an expert at Signorama Naperville. That's 630-537-0500 or visit us online anytime at Signorama-Naperville.com. Custom solutions, friendly service. Signorama of Naperville, the way to grow your business. Get lost in the realm of thrilling mystery with the Mojo series by Chris Cedarstein. Follow 6 small-town teenagers who decide to make a ghost hunting documentary and become blindly thrown into a world of haunting chills they were not expecting in Lost Mojo. Or follow college student Scotty Brown, who is aggressively haunted by vivid nightmares and daytime apparitions. As he begins to search for answers, he puts himself and those closest to him face to face with pure evil. Can he defeat these malevolent beings with a small team of paranormal investigators? Find out in her second title, Mojo. The Mojo series is available on paperback or digital download on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold. The Mojo series by Chris Cedarstein. Get your copies today if you've got the Mojo.
Turn your life around with holistic energy healing from Green Karma LLC. Owner and certified metaphysical practitioner Angel de Hoyos Kolek offers proven holistic therapies that actually treat your mind, body, and spirit. Green Karma LLC's energy therapy is a natural holistic approach that incorporates gentle touch and manipulation of the chakras through various methods. As Green Karma releases these blockages, your flow of energy begins the energetic healing process. GreenKarmaLLC.com offers one-on-one sessions in person or remotely by phone, no matter the distance. Call Green Karma LLC today at 708-334-9832. That's 708-334-9832. You're only one call or click away from the holistic healing power of Green Karma LLC. Call 708-334-9832 or visit GreenKarmaLLC.com to schedule your appointment with Angel. GreenKarmaLLC.com. Powerful energy, proven results. GreenKarmaLLC.com.
Have you heard about that crazy rap thing? There are millions of blogs on today's internet, but only Rita's CrazyRapThing.com can truly help empower you to be healthy and confident about how you look and feel right now. Independent distributor Rita Doman is someone who has always struggled with her weight and health, but made the decision to start living and not worry about her weight any longer. Visit Rita's CrazyRapThing.com and follow Rita's daily empowering blogs for tips on keeping you looking and feeling confident about yourself no matter what. You are worth it. You deserve to be treated with respect. Be empowered with confidence now and visit Rita's CrazyRapThing.com and let yourself off the hook. Know that you are good enough no matter how you look or feel. Girl, don't just sit there and think about it. Visit Rita's CrazyRapThing.com and make peace with your past. Go from this
doesn't look good,
to this.
Don't you look cute today?
Rita's CrazyRapThing.com.
So you're listening to the Transformational Architects. I'm Kent Jones.
I'm Sam Simpson.
In studio tonight, we've got
Nik Farooqui.
And if you want to get in touch with Nik is he's talking to us about martial arts, the martial way. Just dropping great knowledge tonight. It's absolutely been a blast. Where can they find you?
StreetSafe101.com is probably the best place to find me.
That's it. And if you want to chat along, ask any type of questions. I mean, whether you're in this country or Canada. I mean, wherever.
I'll tell you what. I got to do this. I got to say hi to my sister in Canada because she's blowing up my phone over here. I got to give her a shout out, and I got to say hi to my mom too. This is actually funny enough. This is probably the first live show. She always hears about it from my nieces or something.
Sure.
Like a week later. Oh yeah, what goes on? And I always get a phone call or text. Now I'm getting text messages from her, which kind of creeps me out. But anyway,
all right.
But she's always like, you never tell me when your show's on. So hey, Ma, if you're listening, hi.
God, big props to Mom. That's it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? He looks good. He's eating. He's healthy. I mean, the guy looks good, Mom. So
I do the best that I can.
And then your sister up in Canada. I mean, we got to get that up. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Yeah.
That is great.
Yes.
If you want to chat along with us, you can go to 24.7 The Stream or 247thestream.com. I guess leave the point at the .com and go to the wellness station and go ahead and click our banner, the Transformational Architects, or just go to transformationalarchitects.com and push the live show button. It's that easy. And then you'll be right in here chatting with us. But yeah, we've had a blast tonight so far in the first hour. It's just been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Nik, let's talk a little bit about your upcoming book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I from what you've told me and what I've read a little bit of it, and the concept and stuff, I'm excited about it. It's so wide scoped.
Yeah.
And really just a great piece of knowledge that you put in there. Kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you, and this is before the break, we kind of talked about
if we could get a signed copy.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the things that we started to talk about was that kind of hierarchy of priorities you were talking about, like between the difference of people of the champions and the ones that are, that don't carry out. What is kind of like the hierarchy of the martial way in this book and whatnot?
Well, the book has first and foremost is two. Like I kind of separate these into two different hierarchies. Let's just if we can, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's understanding that everything, I follow the Maslow's chart, okay? I mean, everything starts off physical.
Right.
And then ends up mental, and then ends up emotional, and then ends up spiritual, and hopefully at the top of it, you get to the self-actualization part. Okay. Now, obviously, psychologists have argued this thing and debated it like, they've totally just bastardized this thing. But it's a very simple way to look at things. Okay, because it's a simple place to start physically.
Right.
So that's one part of it, right? I need to fuel my body, fuel my mind, and perform physically well before I start feeling better.
Take care of the vessel.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And and then it goes to my mental state. I got some clarity. I can think better. I'm less stressed. I'm that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that goes into my emotional side. And then I'll go into the spiritual side and such. Okay. So that's one hierarchy that you understand. And each one of those kind of breaks down to different things. And I actually broke out some notes from my book here for the show. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is top secret. I can tell you, but I have to kill you. Everybody.
La 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 la.
Yes. Okay, so I have 5 stages in development of this martial code. Okay. The first one is what I call Earth. And Earth is nothing more than just your environment. Okay. Are you in the right places? If you're hanging out in some scuzzbucket bar, that's not conducive to making changes in your life.
Not at all.
If you're living in a house that there's dog feces all over the place and whatever, and people live like this, man. Have you turned on TV, A&E? Okay,
hoarding. Yeah. My wife loves that show.
It's about
cops.
Right, exactly. Clean up your life. Yeah. Clean up the things that you can clean up. Okay, because clean environments mean clean minds. Clean minds mean clean souls, in my opinion. Okay, so the first one is Earth, and that whole section in the book goes in depth about the environment. Okay, about your particular environment, right. I should say. Second one is clay, what I call clay. And that's the physical aspect. That's you, man. Like chipping away, like being a master artist. You know what I mean? You're not adding clay, you're chipping away at the essentials.
Right. You're molding it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the physical you. How do you feel better physically? How do you perform better physically? You know what I mean? How do you look better? How do you do whatever you're doing? It's got to be physical. Following from that is the fire stage. Okay, now the fire stage is very much about having power. It's a mental aspect. it can't be contained like any other fire.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's powerful. It runs rampant, and understanding those emotions and what's happening in your mind, the depression, the anxiety, the anger, the love, the hate, whatever you have going on, it's very much about the fire. Okay.
Yep.
Following off the fire stage, I have what's called fort. All right. And fort is really a tough stage. Okay. And this is really about honing in about what you believe for yourself. What your goals are, what are your ambitions, what are your morals, what are your convictions in life. Okay, this is your fort. You build your life on this fort. It is the stronghold for all things that you will encounter for the rest of your life. And if you think about in military power or historically or whatever, the fort is like, that's big stuff, man.
Right.
I mean, that
protect it.
That protects everything.
That's a strategy. It's all based on that.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you have the water and steel, what I call water and steel. Water and steel is about having precision. What are you doing over there?
Just adjusting my neck, mold.
Rickety and crickety over there. It's very much about gaining this precision in your life. You know, I'm honed in on something or someone or some goal or some place or
target.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you have to be able to utilize all of your tools. You know what I mean? And the fire has to come in and the fort has to come in because you do not want to operate. Like I had a very good friend of mine a couple of years ago said, "Hey, Nick, you know, you're starting to get kind of very popular in the martial arts community and otherwise." And he says, you just be careful because your character cannot sustain where success is going to take you. Okay. So whatever you do with diligence. Okay, because when you're in a public eye, you're going to be the just an object of scrutiny all the time.
Sure.
Okay, if somebody's always trying to find something wrong, so do whatever. Who cares? If you operate with a good moral compass that's guarded by your fort, you'll be fine. Okay, and that's very much what water and steel is. It's about. I hate using the word manipulation, but it's manipulating your skills with the things that you've learned and developed over the years to go towards a goal. Make sense?
Yeah.
And the last part of it is the sky. And this part is the dynamics of everything. It's self-reflection. It's looking up, which is actually looking down. You know what I mean? It's having that out-of-body moment and being able to look back and say, okay, I've got all these pieces of this puzzle. I got all these things that are related to this. I got different galaxies, different whatever. There's the sky. And being able to look with clarity, man, you know what I mean, and see where your life is at. And this, I hate saying it's in a hierarchy, Sam. I really do, because that hierarchy implies that it's a step by step, like one level goes up.
Yeah,
it's more like a globe. It's a circle because this thing should be going in a secular type of a fashion. Right? You start somewhere and you constantly come back and refine.
Yeah, we totally talk about that. Like Kent was saying, things aren't linear. We talk about a compartmentalizer. You go here, you go here. In our floor plan, you're in the middle and you go over to this at the community room and you work on something a little bit and then you come back and then you might bring it into your life room and daily life is what it is. Might go into the spiritual room and bring that in and use that. People are so caught up in that A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 type of thing, and that's not
a recipe.
Yeah,
it's not.
It doesn't work,
and it's a perpetual cycle.
Yeah,
right. I mean, if you think that you've accomplished something today or learned something today, and you never have to return back to it, I'll tell you what. In high school, I was in calculus. You were in my class with me, actually.
You took calculus.
I needed to have.
A little bit.
Yeah, but you still needed to have your basic math. You still needed to have that basic 2+2 kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Because if you don't understand that and if you don't revisit that, then the rest of it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And now it's just fluff. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And again, that comes back to one of the things that we've been preaching all day, which is that journaling.
Right.
Going back and having that measuring stick and having that empirical data.
And that's why we've kind of, all these different things and what people have out there, we've kind of collected and found the 5 fundamentals to help people do that transformation. Because what's the old saying is, practices are many and fundamentals are few, or, practices often change, but fundamentals never do.
Fundamentals never. And that's, even in the martial arts, I say that all the time. You can't get away from certain things. You can't have a good structure and a base, good footwork and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's true in every aspect.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
One of the things you're talking about in the sky is the way you look at things, and you're talking about perspective, and expound on that a little bit, because I think that's one of the biggest things is perspective and changing your perspective.
Much of my life is about perspective. I'll just tell you guys this honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go back. Let me rewind this for you guys real quick and tell you guys a quick story.
We're live. I don't know if that's going to work.
I got 2 hours, buddy.
He paid for
46 minutes. Another 46 minutes. You know, back to Roy Harris, my friend, mentor, and instructor as well. Okay. This is probably back in like 07, 08. He had visited Chicago, and I was driving him back to O'Hare Airport so he can make his departure back to San Diego, California. And him and I were having this discussion about this obscure martial art that he had discovered when he was in the Philippines. And I was talking about, well, how does it fit into what we do, you know, and that kind of thing. And I just wasn't grasping what he was telling me. And he says, you know, here's the thing. Everything's about perspective. Okay, he goes, let me do a little experiment with you while you're driving, so don't really close your eyes here, but you know, kind of thing. And he's like, imagine yourself face to face with a big tree. Okay, I mean, your nose to bark. What do you see? And I said, ants, tree bark, sap, that kind of thing. He says, okay. You close your eyes and you open them back up, and now you're 50 feet away from that tree. What do you see? And I said, I don't know, other trees, you know, shrubbery, animals, whatever. And he says, okay, good. Now you close your eyes and you open up again. Now you're sitting in an airplane looking down. What do you see? That 30,000 foot view. And I said, I don't know, maybe like an Amazon forest kind of thing. And he's like, it's the same thing. It's just different perspectives.
Right.
So you have this conceptual perspective. Okay. That's that 30,000 foot view. How does all this stuff come in? Then you have your relational perspective. How does object A relate to object B, or goal A to goal B, or whatever? And then you have the details perspective, the nitty gritty of things. And when we talk about problem solving, you know, in life, or at least being able to identify things that you want to change, most people look at it in a conceptual. Most people look at it into a detailed view.
Detailed, yeah.
You know, they're so much into the workings, the moving parts. And sometimes it's better to go up high and look back down, because it puts a different perspective on the same thing, and you're better able to understand what's going on. And this is true for, you know, emotions. This is good for relationships. This is good for everything that you have to understand that everything that you have is multi-perspective.
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
There's three sides to the coin, right? The heads, the tails, and then the profile. And the truth lies somewhere in all of those.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot when you're trying to make a transformation in life. People get so worried about the program they're on, the diet that they're on. They hone in on that, but they don't see how that relates to the relationships in their life, or a different area, their spiritual or their energy or whatever it may be. They're not looking at that conceptual view, or even the relationship view between different areas of their life. And I think you have to have all three of those perspectives.
But how easy is it to get caught up in that detail perspective?
Oh, yeah.
Because I have this bill to pay. I have that deadline to meet. I have this. You know what I mean? Because we live in a life of very concise, moving part type. You know what I mean? Like you have that you forget to stop and figure out what the heck are you working for. You know what I mean? And back out a little bit.
That's one of the things that we talk. Yeah, and we have people are so worried about, like, let's say a diet, right? Yeah. You get on a diet, you lose some weight the first week, the second week you lose none. You get ticked off because you're all goals oriented and you're all about units, measurement. But how much stuff has changed in other areas of your life? You might have more energy. You might not be so testy with your kids.
Absolutely.
Testy. You know, we call them unexpected benefits, but that's the stuff that...
Todd, get your finger on the sensor.
But that's one of those things where you have that relationship view and perspective. You can really understand how things are relating to each other.
Yeah. And I would feel like, it's been an important lesson in life for me. I would have to say with what you guys do, you know, helping people the way you guys are helping people, reaching out to people, that perspective is a lot. And even when you are gathering, like for me, when I sit down, like one of the first things that I ask any of my clients or students or otherwise is say, you know, what do you want the martial life to do for you? That's a constant thing. It's going to be dynamic. What you tell me today is not what you're going to tell me a week from now.
Right.
Honestly, you're probably not going to tell me the truth. I have to listen to what you're not saying.
Right.
And so there's dynamics, but you know, like if somebody says I want to lose weight, well, that's fine. That is one perspective,
right?
You know, then I have to look at everything else that's related to it.
How's that going to affect you?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so.
You're going to lose weight, but you're still at your buddy's bar and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I think Robert Kiyosaki said, right, there's three sides to a coin.
I said that.
He just said that
just right now.
I wasn't even listening.
See,
but
perspective.
I don't know who Robert is, but I'm gonna fight him.
Right, but wisdom is found on the edge.
Yes,
Exactly.
very much so.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
there's actually three sides.
Yeah.
So there's two sides to every coin, but really wisdom is found on the edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if
on
you
the
can,
profile side there. Yep.
so if you can, and that's hard for a lot of people to do, is get out of that, detailed perspective. But when you're able to get up to that 30,000 foot view and you're able to see yourself.
Yeah.
And what is it that I'm truly seeing? That's when that change happens. I think that's when those eyes and those aha moments come up and go, woo, I get it now.
If you're willing to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like it just takes some guidance.
That's it. Folks, you're listening to the Transformational Architects. In studio tonight is Nik Farooqui. We're excited to have him. You're listening to 24.7 The Stream.
WHVR Digital Broadcasting, now fat-free and low in calories, so you can eat your words. Many of us struggle with health issues or pain of some form or another, yet you can't seem to find the reason why the aching continues. But there's a way to uncover and treat the sources of all your ailments. For the past 20 years, the practitioners at New Life Holistic Health have been helping people find and overcome the root causes of their health trials, rebalance, and restore their energy. Their New Life method combines today's most effective holistic therapies along with the quantum life system biofeedback full body scan, scanning you for over 7,000 health-related issues. This powerful method gives you the answers you've been searching for. Don't wait another day or even another minute to take back control of your health. Call 630-510-3180 or visit newlifeholistic.com for your free consultation. Mention you heard this ad on the stream and receive $25 off your first visit. New Life Holistic Health. newlifeholistic.com. Become the warrior you were called to be.
You tap into what's almost like a primal type of connection between yourself and yourself. Oh, I thought you were on this fitness journey.
Exactly. And it's like, hey, I can have a couple cheat days because I work my buns off. Who is it to you to say what I can and cannot do?
Cut bait. Get rid of people.
If they're not adding to your life, they got to go.
They got to go.
You got to go.
Huge.
And I'm sorry, you can cut off whatever, politically correct, the penis. You can cut that off, but you cannot take the testosterone out of the individual. It's in the genes. You're a man.
I have no kids, but I am a cop and I'm a juvenile officer, and one of my passions is the community service aspect of what I do.
Dominic Izzo, Rachel Blaze, Warrior Radio, Monday night 6 p.m. Central on the Sports Network, 247thestream.com. Keep your online visitors engaged with Rumble Talk chat service. With over 2 million chatters on over 200,000 websites, Rumble Talk is a proven professional chat room service. With an easy-to-install Rumble Talk chat room, you can share rich media, chat on the go from your mobile phone or tablet, integrate on popular social media pages, blogs, mobile apps, and websites. Add a stylish HTML5 Rumble Talk chat room theme or create your own custom Rumble Talk chat room. Rumble Talk gives you the ability to control any aspect of your chat room's appearance, images, colors, backgrounds, borders and fonts, and overall style. With Rumble Talk's easy account management, you can manage all your Rumble Talk chat rooms from one account. Now that you've found your chat room solution, visit rumbletalk.com for your free 7-day trial today. Your visitors are waiting. Rumble Talk chat service, rumbletalk.com.
We're talking with Nik Farooqui about the Marshall Way, and that's the title of the new book, yeah? coming up? No.
The title of the book is actually Beginning of a Journey.
Beginning of a Journey.
Yeah.
Nice.
How'd you come up with
I haven't been paying attention all night, obviously, as you can tell.
He stole my brownies.
Yeah, that's it.
How did you come up with that title, or the book concept?
What's the inspiration?
You want the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's go.
The full story for how the name of the book came about is this. First and foremost, I was writing another book, and it was called the JKD Chronicles, and it was really much about my life in JKD, meaning Jeet Kune Do,
right?
And some of the experiences, and what I was doing was relating them to like the format of that particular book, which is actually done. I just have not released it yet. I use the philosophies that Bruce Lee wrote in the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, meaning his original book, yeah.
Right.
And then I wrote a story or an experience and how it related into what I did.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I started writing this book, and honestly, I was writing this book for every bit of 10 years. Honestly, because I kept going back and putting it down for like 6 months and come back and write a couple pages. I'm like, I don't like the way this is turning out, and it took so many different tolls. Ultimately, what started happening was I had this like period of time where I just really didn't have a whole lot going on, and I was feeling very creative. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna write. And so I got in front of my laptop and I started hammering away chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter, and I realized that the goal of the book is completely something different now. It has got nothing to do with my chronicles, and I've totally written this for the reader. You know what I mean? And so I started taking parts out of that book out of it and writing the second book, which is Beginning of a Journey. And ultimately, when the title came about was, first and foremost, jokingly, I always say it was the beginning of a book, as well. I was writing another book, and that was beginning of, so it was like the beginning of a journey, but that kind of way. But ultimately, what it was, when people are going to read this thing, this is not a book for martial artists. Okay. It's got nothing to do with martial arts. Right. I remember I said that in the beginning. Believe it or not, I have a feeling that my primary buyer or reader for this is actually going to be probably like a middle-aged female. Nothing to do with martial arts.
Why did you look at me when you said that? What happened there? Is it the eyeshadow? Right. Is it the eyeshadow?
You were smiling.
That's it.
And so it's pretty much going to be more towards. I'm not going to say the book's towards women. It's books for anybody who wants to make an improvement in their life.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of people don't know what to do. Honestly, they just don't. And there's so many different things you can do, honestly. This is just my perspective.
Right.
All right. And how I teach and how I help our clients. You know what I mean? Again, my office has been filled with some extremely rare or weird conversations, you know what I mean? Right. And so, what kind of things did we go through together? You know what I mean? And what that journey was like. And I saw these changes in all these people, and I was like, man, we started at the same starting point every single time. You know what I mean? And we ended at the same point. But there's so many different dynamics that happen. So if I start my book at the same point I start my work with my clients who turn to me with these type of things, then this is really just nothing but a beginning of the journey.
Sure.
There you have the title
there
of the book.
It is.
It's great.
That's how I came up with it.
And I've got 3 daughters.
Yeah.
So I get it. Not trying to say anything, but I think the world, in general, has downtrodden. How strong women can be, and I think there are a lot of people around the world, the females that are wanting to dig what's inside of them out to really step up and make that transformation and really improve their life and let that
and they should in all honesty, like I'm not one way or the other. Okay, I don't say women's empowerment, yeah, great, men's empowerment too. I'm a human empowerment. Okay,
right.
But the thing about it is that they kind of do get the short end of the stick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? As society and media really kind of downplays what the role of a female is. And, education is not as important for them, right? Because they're all going to be Susie Q homemakers. Most of them are single moms by the time they're 17 anymore.
Exactly.
And so things have changed, and you better change with it, or else you're just going to fall behind. So the goal for the book was not necessarily for like teenage moms or any of that stuff. It was just for anybody who's just tired. If you're listening to this show right now and you think to yourself, you know what, I'm sick and tired of the daily grind. I'm tired of having these toxic vibes in my life. You know what I mean? Like where I'm always pissed off. I come home, my kids are running rampant, and I'm really short with them, and I know I shouldn't be with them, and now I want to kill my spouse, and I hate my job. And this book is going to be for you. You know why? Because it's going to help you release those demons, channel them out, and give you a framework to a new set of eyes to look back through your life and start making changes. Now, here's the thing. You have to have the daily one, feed the baby kind of thing.
Right.
You have to have daily one. What are you doing today to make one change? Do one I don't care if it's one small thing, because it all relates. At the end of the week, you've done 7 to 10 good things for yourself. End of the month, you've done 30. By the end of the year, you've done damn near 400. You know what I mean?
Right.
365, right? If you did one a day, it all adds up. If you're not doing one thing a day for yourself to improve your life in whatever aspect you want to, finance-wise, relationship-wise, but physically, otherwise, you can't complain. You're not a part of the solution. Now you're part of the problem.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
And so this book is very much about that. It's about honing in on you, man. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's got nothing to do with anything except for you.
But it's easy, as we talked about, those people have excuses. It's easier for me to sit in my box where I'm comfortable with my little blankie and say, the problem is, here it is, and it's up to you, not me. You're going to change this. I'm not, and because if I try and I fail, quote unquote, and what we don't want to learn from failure, but we've been taught over time through our school systems, and failure's bad,
Well, failure gets a bigger medal these days.
Exactly.
They get the bigger second place is like the biggest.
We were talking about that on the way down, about all the fail videos on YouTube and all this stuff.
But you know what? It's honest. You have to fail.
Right. You have to.
That's where growth happens.
But we don't. I mean, even all the community games now for kids, they don't keep score. We can't have a winner or a loser because we don't want to hurt their feelings. We'll teach them. Hey, this is why we lost. We wanted to play as a team, or whatever the case may be. But we've been taught that it's not my problem. It's not.
There's no ownership.
Yeah. You got to have some accountability there.
You really do.
By far. And the thing about it is this is. Ultimately, although it makes a happier kid today, it makes a pissed off adult. Let's take a look at Columbine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at the Aurora, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
All these different crimes. These are kids that were isolated in their own way.
Right.
Right. They did not have any guidance. Did not have, and they probably got the same stupid second place trophy that everybody else did.
Right.
Right.
Nobody was honest with them, and therefore they were not honest with themselves. That's a fact. Right. This is like, I don't care what book you pull out from. If you study the facts, this is it. I mean, and if you have that accountability, you have that honesty, and that honestly, parenting is a big part of it too.
If you give people a false perspective, that's gonna stray them to a certain way.
Yeah.
Because they're sitting there with this perspective of, oh, I'm great, I'm perfect, blah 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 blah, and it's like, then reality sets in and it's like, okay, now I have a different perspective, and their belief system kind of crumbles.
Let me give you a little bit of insight on what my business is like, okay? Because this is kind of interesting, and nobody ever really thinks about it. You think that, when I say martial arts, first and foremost, people think like a bunch of kids breaking boards, and that's not what I do.
Right.
Or they think like, we have like a bunch of like these dudes built like V's, and they're knuckle draggers and mouth breathers, and they're getting an octagon, and just beating the snot out of each other for 25 minutes, and be like, yeah, and then they go home like a bunch of Neanderthals, and that's not my gym either, okay? That's not my academy either. But you have to understand that the martial arts business attracts insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very much so. And some of these are small, some of them are big. And I'm no one to judge small or big, because what's small to me might be huge for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't judge anybody. But fact of the matter is this. You know what I get? And obviously you get people who are just enthusiasts. Like I was an enthusiast for martial arts. And eventually it turned into something more meaningful in my life. Okay, but I am getting bullied at work. I'm an adult. I have a domestic violence situation. My husband's kicking my ass at home, or my wife. I walk through this dark parking lot on my way out of work every night, and I don't feel safe. I live in a bad neighborhood. I have the street gangs. They're following me around. I used to hang out with them, and I'm trying to stay away. It's insecurities. Sure. You have to provide a solution for that. So when people look at martial arts and they say, man, you're just breaking a bunch of boards, character development or whatever, they simply don't get it. Right. They're seeing things at less than face value.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can't say like every martial arts instructor has gone through the same experiences that I have. I will tell you that we probably are very few and far between, because you have to have an open heart, open mind for it. This is what makes our studio a little bit different. I'm not plugging my studio here. It's just
go ahead, plug away. It's a good thing.
Our studio is very different because of the culture we set. You know, we've had some strange experiences together, and you know, some people just want to be like, you know, I want to make some friends. I want to have a social life. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's fine. We have to be able to provide for all of those people with all those different needs, and I promise you, they don't come straight up to you and tell you that. They're just like, yeah, I just want to sign on, you know, see what happens. Later in life, when you test their fortitude, when you look at their clay, okay, you're going to find out some pretty concerning truth, and you're going to go, dang, you know, it's going to be so left field for you. And then you have to take them off the side. Literally, I've had people call me up. I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story here. This is 2001, 2002. The guy who I was running the 2 locations for calls me up in the middle of the night one night, and he says, "So and so person is in trouble. Can you go help him?" And I said, "Yeah, where is he?" "Oh, he's somewhere over by the academy." I don't want to use the guy's name, okay? But so I said, "Okay, fine." So I get dressed, and this is like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I get dressed, I get in my car, I go on straight on the other side of town. Mind you, at that time, I lived in Rockford, Illinois.
Hey, I love Rockford. Okay. Yeah, so you went to the west side.
Sorry, dude.
You went to the west side. Huh?
No, but dang near close to it. Okay, so I head downtown, and I'm driving, and he sees my car, and he comes bolting out like from behind a bush. Okay, just ambushes me like Spider-Man. So here I am. I'm on the hooks. I'm doing like 40 mile an hour. I grab on the brakes. Smoke's coming out of the tires and stuff, and he comes running up, goes around my car, jumps in go, drive. Okay. What's going on here? So I'm driving and stuff. I'm, you okay? And he's like, man, you know, like, mind you, this is somebody who I liked. He was young. He was probably like 16.
Wow.
Maybe 17, and had just lost his mom to cancer. And the problem with it is he now believed in nothing.
Sure.
Family didn't count. God didn't count. No, like everything that he was told was so true and consistent in his life is now broken.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a fragile soul there. So basically, I throw him in the car where I'm like, well, are you okay? What's going on? Whatever, you know, talking to him a little bit. And he says, you know, I started hanging out with these guys because I felt like it was a part of my family. And I realized that I don't want to hang out with them because I'm tired of selling drugs. I'm tired of getting in fights. I'm tired of drinking from 8 a.m. to
16.
10. Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so let me take you home. I'm not going home, he says. I'm not going anywhere. They know where I live. I said, makes sense. All right, fine. So I take him back to my house. All right. Call his dad up, say, hey, listen, I have him over here with me. He's going to stick around with me for a few days. This is the situation. You're welcome to come by. Here's my address. You know, here's a phone, you know, whatever you need. And so I made a deal with this kid, and I said, listen, I will train you for free. Okay? I'll give you 1 session a week, every week that you don't go see these guys. And he came around for 6-7 months that way. Every once a week, I saw him once a week. I mean, he stayed with me for about a week and a half and then ended up taking off. But and went back to his parents and safe and stuff. And I hadn't seen him in ages. But probably 2007-ish, here I am going through the grocery store, Logley's, if you guys know Rockford.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on stage. And here comes this kid, Mr. Nick. Race, is that you? What's going on, man? How are you? And he's like, I'm doing great, man. You know, and he stops and he says, you know, I really got to thank you. You actually cared enough to go out of your way, man. It was like midnight, and I said, are you doing okay? And he's like, I'm doing great. Wow. I said, fantastic, man.
That's awesome.
Good for you. So I was very happy to see him, and that's what I'm saying, man, is like, you know, like this particular industry will bring you to places that you do not think it can bring you to.
It's a huge character builder.
Right. Well, yeah, and you could either turn it off and just be like, listen, it's got nothing to do with my studio. Keep your drama outside the school, okay? Or you can say, you're a human being, I'm a human being. Sure, you're a client, sometimes paying, sometimes not so much, but I care about what's happening to you. I'll help you through this. I'll walk this. I won't walk the journey for you. I'll walk it with you.
Yeah, and I don't think it's if I can be so bold, not necessarily that, you know, martial arts. I think when you have put yourself in a position to help people, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, however you want to look at it, I think it brings. I've been in similar situations, you know, not somebody jumping in, but I've worked with people who are in gangs. I've worked with people who are homeless, and need something. So I think that when you are open to the Marshall way, I think that comes to your doorstep because that God knows that you're able to
do something.
Yeah.
So had it not been, just my personal experience, at least my personal take on this thing, had I not had the Marshall life in my life, honestly, I don't think I would have helped.
Right.
Because it's like, how many panhandlers do you see a day, man?
Right.
You guys want to hear a funny story about a panhandler?
Yeah, that's it.
This is hilarious. Okay. So I'm driving into the city one day, and I take the Fullerton exit, and at the bottom of the exit there's a stoplight, and typically there's panhandlers there. You hold on the side.
I know what you're talking about.
So, guys walking up by my window and stuff, and sometimes I give out, whatever. That's no big deal. And he comes over to me and he says, "Hey, do you have any change?" and that kind of thing. And I look, and I actually literally felt my pockets and legitimately was actually going to give him something. I said, "The only thing I got on me is my ATM card, man. So, not much I can do for that." He pulls out an iPhone, puts the square reader in the phone.
No,
says, you can swipe it, and I'm like, "You have an iPhone, okay?" I got like this, like the Zach Morris gray phone, right? I'm like, "You got an iPhone, you got a square reader, which means you have a checking account, okay?"
Which also means you're paying for that service.
Exactly. You see the point. So,
it's hilarious.
Jaded moments. So now when I look at it, I'm like,
smart guy. But come on.
Right. So
the other thing is, how many people are just, oh yeah, here you go, man. Take 20.
He's making it convenient. Well, see, that's just it, man. So like I constantly feel like I need to give back to the community.
Sure.
Right. And I feel like that. Another Roy Harris moment. One of the things he's gone through so many different things that he shared with me in his own personal time, and as I was going through some other things, he says, you learn these things, and mind you, he's very much a God-loving person, and he says, God kind of puts you in these places and puts you in these experiences to teach you. Mm-hmm. Once you learn from it, you're able to help somebody else who needs it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like, because I went through some different stages of my life, with, I had my own, racism and depressions and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
These are the things that I had to deal with myself, and being able to overcome that and being able to make a positive twist on that and make a life that I can be proud of and really test my clay and build a new fort and all these things, and being able to be in the sky and look back down, right? All those 5 stages that we talked about from the book. It changed everything. It changed my perspective. Yeah. It changed the way I can operate. And very much now, luckily, I can make a career now. I travel most of the globe. I go to businesses. I go to schools. I go to, I deal with law enforcement agencies, military special operations groups. I can teach you all kinds of things. I could teach you just pure violence. Mind you, my first instructor in JKD, that's what I learned. He was my friend, let's just say, but I learned nothing but pure violence. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that was very empowering too, because you go down the road and you're like, man, the guy who bumps shoulders with me, to me, I can evoke so much violence instantly. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you're going to go to the hospital and I'm probably going to go to the jail. So I'm not even going to get involved with this. So you get this, and it's a true confidence because you have tested and tried this skill set for yourself.
Right. Sure.
And built this thing. It's not a false confidence. And that's in the training methodology as well. Mm-hmm. So that was good. But it wasn't until, later on when I met Roy Harris and was able to take some of those lessons that I even learned from the other guys and go back and readjust my own life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the truth of it is this, man. I teach a street style self-defense.
Right.
Okay. Most people are never going to need it. Okay. And if that's all you get from it, well, that's like 5% of what we do. You're missing on the other 95%. Right. If I live in that 5%, now mind you, as a business person, you want to live in that 5% because we're just hoping something happens.
Need a story.
Because you want to go, okay. Right. Or we advertise that way. Look at me, I can take on an entire army with a Jinsu knife, whatever. Okay. And you make these videos and you live in this and you write these articles and that kind of thing, and then if you guys ever look back, I've been in Black Belt magazine, I've been in SWAT magazine, I've been in so many different publications this way, and you have to live in violence for that, okay? But that's not living.
Right.
My business, that is a part of it. That's a vehicle for me. That's how I build my family.
Well, you're speaking in their language to get them in.
Exactly. Okay. Or I'm giving them something kind of fun and appealing.
Right.
If you stick around with me and I got students of mine that have been with me for literally 10 years.
Wow.
Okay. And they're not with me because I'm teaching them all kinds of new stuff.
Right.
That's a part of it, and it's fun. But they're with me because they're looking at their own lives and they're saying, I feel better every time I'm here with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're building their fort.
I'm building their fort. Well, they're building their fort.
Right.
I'm just a flashlight, okay?
Right.
I'm testing them and letting them see the things that they want to see or need to see and go from there.
Right. And that's awesome. Folks, we're in studio tonight with Nik Farooqui. Nik, they need to get in touch with you.
StreetSafe101.com.
And if you're listening, go to there. I mean, it's great stuff. And he's got the new book coming out, which is entitled
Beginning of a Journey.
Beginning of a Journey. And we'll talk about that after the break when we come back. But folks, you're listening to 24.7thestream.com. I don't know. I got too many points in there tonight for some reason. But anyway, it's 247thestream.com. You can go to the wellness station, click on our banner, the Transformational Architects, and you can chat along with us, ask us any questions, or they can go to
transformationalarchitects.com, push the live button, or past shows once we're off the air. Also, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Life Integrated Wellness Group, and hit us up there. Also, we also have the 5 Fundamentals of Transformation, which is at beginningimproving.com. So check that out. It's a free course. It's phenomenal.
That's it. And we're going to step away for some messages real quick. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple of things to wrap it up. And then, Sam, as soon as we get back, let's let them know what's happening next week and who's coming into studio. So it'll be a good time. So
Definitely.
Awesome. You're listening to the Transformational Architects on 24.7 The Stream.
24.7 The Stream. We intend to live forever. So far, so good. 247thestream.com. Money, finances, these are stressful topics for most. Most of us were not taught the right way to handle our finances. How to save, how to invest, and how to protect our money. The Financial Fitness Pack at GaryKnauer.com is designed to expose you to the best minds in all of personal finance. World-class information straight from people with results. Straightforward, easily applied so you can prosper in any economy. No matter what your current financial standing is, the Financial Fitness Pack at GaryKnauer.com is the right path to maximize your financial future. The Financial Fitness Pack covers the offense, the defense, and the playing field of personal finance. Take charge of your money and learn how to build wealth. Go to GaryKnauer.com, learn the right way to manage your finances, and listen to Intentional Living Radio with host Gary Knauer Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Central on 24.7 The Stream. That is Gary, KNAUER.com. Some say that life is a journey, and all journeys begin with a simple step. Well, at BeginImprovingYou.com, we have found a way to help you make that first step. No matter where you are in life, just beginning, somewhere in the middle, or somewhere over the rainbow, BeginImprovingYou.com will show you a revolutionary way to maximize the tools you already possess to live a more fulfilled and purpose-filled life. The life you always wanted. At BeginImprovingYou.com, you will start to look at your life differently than you have ever done, through your own lens, not the lens society and life have given you. By revealing these basic principles that each one of us has inside, you will understand why you haven't had lasting success from any other programs you have tried. At BeginImprovingYou.com, we didn't want your life system to break. We start improving it so it doesn't fail. Stop by BeginImprovingYou.com and get your free video course to help you take that first step towards the life you have always wanted. And listen to the Transformational Architects Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central.
So you're listening to the Transformational Architects here on 247thestream.com. In studio tonight, we're sitting along with Nik Farooqui, which has just been a pleasure. And we've been talking a lot about the Marshall Way. We've been talking about the new book. And Nik, if they want to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
Best place is to go online at StreetSafe101.com. You can visit my academy that's in Bartlett, and the website for that is ExtremeTrainingAcademy.com, and that's spelled with an X, not with an E. You can find me on Facebook at Xtreme Training Academy, also spelled the same way, or also on Street Safe 101.
That's it. And here we've been talking about the beginning of a journey, which is the title of the new book that's coming out. And here's an interesting thing, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are looking to make transformations. I know there's a lot of people out there who are looking to make some changes in their life, and I know all those people, and Sam and I have done a lot of research on this, have tried many other, they've read all the books, they've read all, they've tried all the self-help things, all this stuff. But what I want people to be very aware of is, keep searching for that. And with this book, the way that it's put might just really sing to your soul. It might be the piece that you're looking for. And just sitting in here talking with, I haven't read the book, I'll get it, but when it comes out, but just the way that you present yourself and talk is, if you write the same way, it's going to be a very easy read and comforting read, and it should be able to touch a lot of people's lives.
Well, lucky for you guys that I transcribe. I basically speak to my computer and let it go in words.
Right.
Okay, so I do write the same exact way that I speak, for one, minus the 4-letter explicitives off air. But the book, I've read a lot of those self-help books because I just found it to be interesting. So I go to Tony Robbins books, and I enjoy going to like a Borders or Barnes and Nobles and just sitting down while Borders is gone. But I enjoy going to a bookstore and just kind of thumbing through. And I'll tell you this, in my opinion, a lot of the reason why those self-help books do not work is because it's literally very linear. It is a formula. Hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it takes no account for personalization. The book cannot assume your circumstances, but it does.
Right.
Okay, but for it to be successful, it has to be dynamic and adaptable. How do you make it yours?
Right.
The martial code or the martial life that I talk about in this book, in my book, is very much about you. Okay, so I'm not telling you need to do this. All I'm trying to do is give you guys some ideas, in a philosophical way, in a conceptual way, and in a practical way. So that way you can look at stuff, you can plug yourself into it, and have the ability to move. It's got dynamics, it's got adaptability, it's got fluidity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. That's what we've based all our stuff on too. Is the same kind of principles.
As it has to. If you want something to be successful, it has to be built for you.
And that by in turn fills in a lot of the gaps that all these, we call them tools out there.
Yeah.
It gives you your own owner's manual on how to use those kind of tools, because it's filling all the gaps that those programs just don't have.
Because honestly, just if I take myself, and I really hate saying this, but if you look at it in a business perspective, in all honesty, you want a book that doesn't work. You want a book that 70% works. Well, you know why? Because you could sell the second book.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or a drug,
sequel.
Drug that gives you side effects. You need another pill.
Timothy Ferriss wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, and then he wrote the 5-Hour Work Week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Why? Because 4 hours wasn't enough in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So and mind you, both of those are great books.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I'm not talking down about his books. I'm just saying that, it was set up for a sequel.
Right.
Of course.
And I didn't write it this way because ultimately, as much as I love writing, I hate writing at the same time because it takes me to places of my life that honestly, sometimes I don't really want to revisit. I'm past that, man.
Sure.
This is I don't need to go back in the past because my bell on my phone is hit and I'm in the now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it takes you into some places that, and that's okay. If somebody can grow from that, if somebody can benefit from some of the things that maybe I saw, or maybe some of the things that I experienced with somebody else, then it's worth it.
That's it. And this second week now we've had an author in here, and a lot of what Sam and I do, our passion is to help people understand and let other voices be heard. We've got a good idea and a good foundation on the fundamentals of transformation.
Right.
But what we want to do is help promote your voice, because your voice is going to speak to somebody that ours isn't.
Yeah, but I think the ultimate goal, and when Sam reached out to me about coming on to the show a couple weeks back, this has been one of those shows, like most of the time when I go on a radio show, and Todd, the producer, knows he's had me in here twice already, prior to this, is very much about, about something specific to martial arts or combatives, or this has been one of the few times where I've actually gotten a chance to come out and just talk about, something like this.
The other
making
side
that
of it,
change.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, and part of the reason is, I'm a martial arts instructor and studio owner. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm working with these different groups that the violence is something that I have to live in, And so people always relate me to that particular type of industry,
Right,
you know what I mean? So I'll be honest with you, writing Beginning of a Journey was almost soul cleaning for myself.
I can imagine.
It really was. I really let loose a lot of those inner demons that I had for myself. Okay, and at the beginning of the very first segment, we said, you have to sit down and write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wrote. It just happened to turn out to be a book. If I keep writing, this thing's going to be like an Encyclopedia Britannica. You know what I mean? It's going to go on forever. But the fact of the matter is that it made me hone in on something.
Right.
And that was healing. And because of that, so many things, and I really, I know a bunch of my students and clients are listening. I wish they had called in or at least chatted on this thing, but a lot of them will attest to the simple fact that they've watched how I teach, adapt, and how I deal with people, adapt. You know what I mean? And how I take care of my business, adapts. And because of those changes, small changes, one simple thing a day, changes so much down the line, because all things relate.
An apple a day.
An apple a day.
Exactly.
It's a little nugget.
It's a little nugget.
A little golden nugget. So, next week in studio, Sam,
we got Brandon Sabatka. He was going to be on the show that we had the technical difficulty back in October. He's going to be on coming from Indianapolis. He runs Integrity Human Performance, which is a high performance type of coaching and company. We're talking to him about some stuff that's going to be released in January, and just a lot of his kind of philosophies on transformations and changing. And all the people we have on kind of have the same core philosophies as we do. So that's why we love having people on, is because we just edify that same principles of it's not just one thing. It's an overall, all areas of life and whatnot. So he's going to be on there. It's going to be a great one. He'll be in studio for the whole 2 hours.
Yeah. I'll be out. I'll be out of the studio.
Yeah.
Won't be doing any traveling, but got some family things that got to take care of.
Make some time for that, brother. That's important.
You have to. And in your book, you talk about some, earth, clay, fire, fort, sky, being able to reflect. And one of the things, what I love about the fort part that you talked about is that honing in on goals, your morals. What is it? And that's kind of that life room that Sam and I talk about, is understanding that in order to make a change, to make a transformation, not a change, because change isn't permanent, but transformation is you have to be able to transform or develop all areas of your life to have that balance, instead of just like you said, well, I want to lose weight.
Right.
Okay. Why? And and do you understand that in your community you're going to have to change some things, not go to the bar, not smoke that pack of cigarettes,
disassociate with some people,
you probably will.
And just because it says e-cigarette doesn't mean it's good for you either.
It's even worse. As we all stare at Todd. Oh, Todd.
And but truthfully, is how that works. And in your studies, what and I'm going to take you back a long way, maybe to when you were new into martial arts, is that honing part. How hard was that? How hard is that? To really be able to do that.
You have to get away from the "it's good enough" attitude. Okay, you have to start developing the perfectionist attitude, meaning I want better. And it's very easy to hone in on for a short period of time. It's very tough to hone in on for an extended period of time. Okay, so I can look at it and be like, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. Let's just say, go back to this weight loss thing, because everybody relates to this somewhere. If I want to lose 10 pounds today, and then on the weekend you see me eating my favorite food, which is a Lou Malnati's pizza. Ooh, but I got the whole pizza to myself.
That's good.
See that everybody grunts when that happens.
Yeah.
But, if you see me eating that, you know what I mean? Well, I lost track. I honed in on it for a short period of time, and I had a salad. Following the salad, I had 7 pieces of pizza that are like 6 inches thick in the first place. You know what I mean? You say I got the healthiest pizza ever. Kind of. No, but it's got spinach on it. Kind of thing. But so to hold on to that, and really what I learned was this. It's not the end result that I'm interested in anymore. It's the journey. I like the challenge. And as you go through challenges, and you're going to have successes, you're going to have victories, and at the same time, you're going to have failures. You become kind of an addict because what happens is you like to know more about you. You know what I mean?
That's strong.
And the more you start going through that, damn it, I should have had that, kind of thing, or what went wrong here? This is how I really feel, that kind of thing. And you're going to go back and look at your journal, right? Because that's what's
right.
And you're going to see all these different dynamics to this thing. You live for that, and that's very much living in the right now.
Yeah, there's a great line from The Equalizer with Denzel Washington where he talks about it's not about perfection, it's about progress.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's not about perfection. There's never going to be an end result where you're happy, but it's the progress of every day.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's really what it's about.
That's it. And folks, we've been hanging out with Nik Farooqui all night here for these 2 hours, and I know I could literally sit here and go another 2 to 4 hours with you. I mean, it's just been amazing. The energy coming from you is wonderful. It's great vibrations. Got some good stuff. And
I really appreciate you guys having me out, man.
And listen, you're in Naperville on a Thursday night. Swing by anytime.
Oh, I appreciate that.
We have you in here.
Definitely.
I might just ninja ambush this place one.
That's fine.
Todd's gonna go outside and not come back in.
Exactly.
But absolutely, it's just been a blast. Folks, go to, where can they find you?
StreetSafe101.com. It's a very easy place, in that, or you can go to extremetrainingacademy.com, which is my studio in Bartlett. And I'll tell you guys this: come on out to the studio, meet our folks, meet my staff, come shake hands with us, come try us out. If I don't start affecting your life, forget about martial arts. Okay, if I don't start affecting your life, man, then I owe you one. Honestly,
that's it. Yeah. And the book's going to be out when?
Book is intended. It's in final edit right now, as it's gone through like 3 already. But my intention is to have the book released and available, and you'll be able to see it on our Facebook or online as well. I'm guessing about February.
About February,
yeah,
and when it comes out, check on Life Integrated Wellness Group.
We'll have it on
Facebook. We'll put it on there as well. Yeah. It's just been a pleasure tonight, my friend.
Pleasure's mine.
Thank you so much. We'll do it all again next week with Brandon Sabatka, and that'll be fun. And you've been listening to the Transformational Architects. I'm Kent Jones.
I'm Sam Simpson,
and along with us tonight,
Nik Farooqui.
Folks, enjoy the week. We'll see you next Thursday, or you'll hear us next Thursday. You've been listening to 247thestream.com.
Have a good night.
This concludes our scheduled programming for today. The following programming has been previously recorded and will continue until the next scheduled live broadcast. You can subscribe to